Next, source file rules. This is same thing. Uh, beginning comment. Comment should have, what is beginning comment here? Let's see here. Hmm. In this class, this is called a beginning comment. Okay. Uh, at the top of that source file. Okay. It can have class name, version, copyright information, and author here. Okay. Mm, it can have information like class name, which class name is already there. Okay. We can write here backup service impl dot java, and I can have author. Okay. Author, and you can give the name, and here we can talk about what this class is going to do, what this class is intended to do. Okay, so yeah, package name and import statement. Yes, so after this, the very first uncommented line, you can see this is a commented line. Okay, beginning comment. So very first line which is uncommented is a package declaration. Okay, so we are saying that this class belongs to this package, and that is going to be the first line of the uncommented source code. Okay, and then after a blank line, we have to start the import statement. Okay, and then we have the class or interface declaration. Okay, after that we have the class and interface declaration. I cannot do something like this. Okay, I cannot do something like this, right? That is not a good idea, not acceptable actually, and this is also not acceptable. Okay, I cannot take my imports above that package declaration. Okay. Okay, now let's go. So here we have some idea about defining the variables. So first we define a static variable. Okay, class level variable in order like public, protected, and then private. So let's say if we have multiple static variable, so it will go in the same order. Now let's say I have uh, int uh, int static uh, counter sorry, int static counter is equal to, let's say, 0 or 10. Sorry, static, okay, counter is equal to 10. Here this is static string message, maybe it's a global message, is equal to hello. And then again there is another thing. Let's say I'm taking boolean is process is processing, something like that, false. But here these all assume that these are all static for now. So the first will go the private, sorry, let me refer that how it is going. Yeah, public first will we have to declare the public, protected, and then private. So we have to do like this, public, protected, and then uh, private. This means what I'm trying to say here, if we have multiple static variables, uh, and there is something like that. Okay, few variables are public and few variables are private, static, public static, yeah, sorry, some public static and some private static. So the guideline says guideline says that, okay, define that public one at the top, and then protected, and then private. Okay, if the same rule goes for the instance variable also, this is class level variable, same rules apply to the uh, instance variable also. Okay, first we have to declare the public, then protected, and then private. And if we have both, obviously there is a big chance, like, okay, let me create some instance variable. Okay, I'm just calling it instance. Oh, sorry, for now I'm just calling it instance. Okay, remove this static. And let's say we have both this situation. I mean, we have instance variable also and static variable also. So what will happen, is it going to be something like this? Okay, all public is going to be like this, and uh, is it going to be like this? Actually no, actually no. Okay, first we have to declare all the static one according to their scope. Okay, and then we have to do that private, I mean instance variable declaration as per their order of the scope. Okay, the scope, this is a scope. Okay, public, protected, private is a scope, visibility. Okay, yeah, we talked about the same instance variable. Okay, now after that we have constructor. Okay, after that we have constructor. So let me remove something. Okay, let it be there. Okay, um, we have constructor. So the guideline is that, have this variable declared, and then declare the construction. So what we are looking here is the order defined for structuring the source code. Means beginning comment, then package, then import, then class declaration, then static variable declaration, then instance variable declaration, then constructor. So this is the order in which a source file is structured. Okay, and if I write something like this, if I don't follow this rule, okay, I make this instance variable at the top, this is not going to make me a problem. This is not going to give me any compilation error, or not, it's not going to give uh, any error at the runtime as well. It will work perfectly fine. But this is, we have to follow uh, the guideline to have every developer on the same page, have every uh, coder at the same page, that, okay, we have to follow this pattern. Okay, it's completely fine. I can create I can create any variable here also. Okay, okay, what is wrong here? Nothing, no problem. But the thing is, we have to follow a certain pattern which we all are agreed on, so that it does not make anybody problem. Where should I find that code? Where should I find the variable? Although these days we have IDE, and that is going to uh, assist you to, where that variable is defined. If, let's say, if I use this is process instance. Okay, and if I click on this, it will take me to that variable. But it is just not about, this is just not about where that variable is declared. Okay, there are something more here involved. And I would like to give you an example here. I would like to talk something. What is the significant benefit of following a certain guidelines, certain uh, coding standard, where the entire industry is following the same approach? Okay, it gives a chance to write something, uh, some another tool that can um, okay, let me give you an example so that we can understand. We all create pojo. Okay, we all create pojo and give that private uh, accessifier and provide that getter setter method. Okay, we all know that there are a lot of framework. Okay, there are a lot of framework that we use to create software, create Java applications, that provide, that provides uh, their service, and their design, uh, based on assumption also. I can, I can write some framework. If I have read this message, if I have, okay, if I have, if I'm writing something, a framework, okay, which has to uh, which has to create something dynamic, I can, based on this assumption, based on this method, I can create that, or I can assume that, okay, if this is a variable declared, then there would be a getter and setter of this message declared in this class, implemented in this class, and I can call that getter and setter method to satisfy the my business logic in the framework that we are going to write. Okay, so following industry-based practice takes us to the next level um, in design, or yeah, in the possibility to uh, write something. Okay, what is after that? Method should be grouped by functionality, not based on scope like public private. Okay, so here the same thing is coming. The method, okay, let me remove it for a second. I don't want to be go up and down. So as we were seeing that, okay, the variable declaration was based on, is based on the scope, public private protected. Okay, this first public and this then protected, something like that. We have some rule, I mean, some suggestions. But for method, this is not suggested. Okay, for method this is not suggested. The method should be grouped like its behavior, not based on that accessifiers. Okay, like let me remove all these. uh, let's say I have, for a second, let me remove this also. um, or okay, let's design, okay, let's design the interface itself. Okay, either interface or class. Okay, so let's say we have, what does it mean to, group of functionality? That means that I am writing this. Okay, collection, uh, find collection of a string, it's going to return, and I'm going to find. Okay, and providing the id. Okay, then I'm going to create collection of a string, find by name. Okay, string, and then I'm going to say the same thing, collection of a string, and maybe find all. Okay, so this is something, we can say this is something, a group of method which is which is based on a functionality, not by the scope. Like, and another group, what can be that another group? uh, let's say a void, or yeah, void save. Okay, here the object is that. Okay, something like that. Okay, then we have update. Okay, name, and we have something to delete. Okay, let's say id. Okay, so this is another group of functionality. This is one group of functionality, this is another group of functionality, and this is third group of functionality. Although this is alone single, but this is third type of behavior. Okay, this is CRUD operations, this is finding operations, although this is part of reading operations from the CRUD group, and this is third type. So we should write the class, we should implement the interface design or class implementation class as a group of behavior, not based on public, private, and protected based. So one more thing, does it look good if I say find here and save here? Huh? It does not increase readability. It is going to make some, it is going to introduce some complexity or something which is not comfortable to developer. Readability, it's not going to increase. Okay, okay, so this is one thing about. Okay, next we have indentation. So indentation is suggested 4 space and tab is 8 space. Indentation is this gap, or the gap here we have. Okay, if I write here, you see this, I'm getting this gap. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and a tab has gap here also, it is 4 in this IntelliJ. So I would like to say about this is sometime this is changed by organizations. Okay, some organizations like to follow this 8 space as it is, and some organization or some ID by default supports tab also on 4 spaces. Okay, so this is all about indentation, this space. Okay, there are so many things that we are going to see. Okay, let's see here. Okay, line length, avoid the line longer than 80 characters. Okay, since they are not handled well by many terminal and tool. uh, so this is one thing about, this is about older days, like some tools which does not, maybe some terminal like CMD or something in the older days was not following greater than 80 characters in single line, but it also um, it also decreased the readability. If we are writing and keep writing going on, right to that screen, it does not look good. Okay, so there is ideally line break is on 80 characters. Okay, principle to wrap the line if not fixes in one line. Okay, now here are the some important um, rules or guidelines about wrapping up, breaking up the line if it is not fitting into that one line. Okay, so it is saying break after a comma. Okay, break after a comma. Let's assume this method I'm writing and providing multiple parameter to it. Okay, string something, some I mean some name, a string, some address. I don't know, I'm just writing, trying to improve, increase the number of parameters so that it can break boolean processable. Okay. uh, so let's say if I have to break this line, so where should I break it? We should break it after comma. Okay, something like here. Okay. Next, what it is saying, break before an operator. In some situation, what does it mean is uh, break before operator. What does it mean is I am, let's say, um, trying to concatenate the string. Okay, the string name or the content is equal to let me write some monkey character. Okay, and it's going on and on. Okay. uh, Actually this is not that example. Okay, but here also it fits. Okay, so let's say my content is going into multiple lines. So make me place me an enter here. Okay, so what does it saying is break before an operator, before an operator. uh, so it is saying, take this here. Okay, at not at right side, take this at this left side. Okay, this is one example from concatenation. But let's say we are trying to create a calculation. Okay. Let's say int result is equal to uh, 10 plus 15. Okay, something like this. And then something we have some percentage and something I'm trying to write. Okay, to some number and divide it by 2. Okay, so if I have to break this line, so I have to break here. Okay, before an operator, before an operator. Okay, I have to do like this. This is a suggestion in the document.